Hey guys, this video isn't going to be anything special. I just wanted to show you a couple things I got done and share some news. I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. It's more like me being very angry type of news, but I thought I'd just share something with you. So, some of my good news is that I got my check finally from my boss. I think it was yesterday. My boss sent more money than usual, so that was pretty cool. Because I've got some added expenses this month with having to ship a few packages out, one being overseas. And a couple other things that I have to take care of, like my cat's running low on food. She's been eating like a horse, and she eats high quality food, which is pretty expensive, so I've got that to pay for this month. So I've just got some extra bills and the extra cash, or the extra money on my paycheck. For whatever reason she put it on there. I'm assuming because the check was late, but anyways, I was pretty excited about that. And my birthday is coming up. It's on the 20th. And one of the antique stores I go to, not my favorite one that sells everything really cheap, but there's another one that I do go to buy apothecary things, like medicine, you know, old medicine for my mother, because I do Christmas shop all year long for her, and whenever I see a good deal I just buy it, and then when Christmas time comes, which also happens to be her birthday is on Christmas Day, I don't have to scramble and buy overpriced things, because I've shopped for her all year long and saved a lot of money. And so anyways, that antique store is having I guess a party, I guess you could say. And they're having giveaways and stuff, and so that's really cool. They're having it the day after my birthday, so I'm really excited to go to that. Hopefully I win something, and I'll probably do a little bit of shopping. And I think that's all the good news I have. I did get a few things made. I'm not going to be able to get this in view. It's basically a big metal spiral with bells on it, and it's supposed to look like a tree, and I redid the bottom. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see it here. Do my best, but there's some presents there, and then there's a little drum. I don't know if you can see that. And then some ivy and berries. And then someone had put fake grass on the bottom of this pot. I bought it for my mom at a garage sale. She wanted it. And someone put fake grass in the pot, and I thought it looked so ugly, so I covered that with cotton batting. And then I took cotton balls and glued that over the cotton batting to give it more of a snowy effect. And I think it turned out really, really good. I'm happy with it. Looks tons better. And then this is something I repainted, and I got it off of one of these sprays, you know, that I had gotten from Bargain World, which is also where those presents and the ivy and the drum came from under that tree. But I chipped all the paint off like I said I was going to. I don't know if I can get it in camera and get it to focus. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. But basically what I did is I put several, after I chipped all the old paint off, I put several coats of white on there, and then I watered down some cameo pink, and I brushed it over so it kind of highlighted all the raised parts. And then I took some Rub and Buff, and I wasn't too happy about this at first. I didn't like it, but it grew on me. And I tried to lightly put it over the bumps also to give it like a gold antique look, and I did not like it at first, but it's grown on me, and I'm not sure how well the camera's going to show it. I don't think that's... Yeah, I'm not sure how it'll show up, but I like it. I think it turned out really good. And this is for the plaque I'm making. And then I made this flower. And this white lace was supposed to be the center layer for the flower, the top layer. And after I had tied off the thread, I realized I didn't scrunch it up well enough, so the lace was too big of a circle. So I was gonna put a smaller circle in the middle. But then I was digging through my junk jewelry jar, and I found this, what I assumed to be was an old brooch or a pin, and I glued that on there, and I thought it was like the prettiest flower center. I think it turned out really nice. So I just decided to leave it like that. I thought it looked pretty good, simple, you know. And then I made this flower, and I liked how this one turned out too. And then I was playing around. Those two flowers are for the plaque. I've got some more flowers to make. And I'm probably not going to use everything. So I've got these ribbon roses I was going to put in there too. Here's some larger ones. I'm not real good at shabby chic, so I'm going to have to play around with a whole bunch of stuff that I make. And then do my final decisions after I have everything arranged the way I like it as to what I want on the plaque and what I don't want. And then I was playing around a little bit, trying to alter some leaves. And I had painted 2 silk leaves white, and then I before the paint was dried completely, I put on some embossing powder, and I was trying to melt it with my hair dryer, and I have to have the hair dryer on the low setting, otherwise the breaker will pop in my house and turn off everything. Reset alarm clocks, and that's not fun to try and reset, especially with how complicated alarm clocks seem to be nowadays. So the instructions said you could hold it over a candle, so I tried holding it over a candle, and obviously you can tell they started to burn where all the yellow is, and then this one actually has black soot on it. And I was going to, and I was trying to be careful too, you know, just once one spot was melted, then I'd move on to another spot, but it still burned on both leaves. And I was just trying to get all the powder. But I was going to throw this away, but it's starting to grow on me. I think it'll be pretty if I can find a silk black or yellow flower. And then I think it'll work out well. So I decided to keep those 2 leaves. And I'll try and work with them. But I'm not sure how I'm going to melt my embossing powder. It's the first time I've used it. I have this small bottle that I got and a large lot of things I bought off Craigslist, and so that's the first time I've actually tried doing it. And then the other thing I'm working on is the plaque for someone, and I really do not think she watches my videos, and I'm sure by what the plaque says, some people are going to know who the plaque is for. And if you know who it's for, please do not tell her to come watch the video, because I want it to be a surprise for her. And it's the only reason why I'm showing what I've done so far is because I doubt she watches my videos. So if you know who this is for, please don't go and tell her to watch the video. I don't want her to watch it. So yeah, this is what I've been working on. And it took me a long time to decide what the outer lace was going to be around here, around the plaque. And I was going to do a second layer with this really thin lace, but I decided this was enough. Especially with all the flowers that will be going on it. You know. So, yeah, I'm not too good at shabby chic, so you'll have to give me a break at my extremely poor decorating skills. So, yeah, that's basically what I've been working on and when I got done. I've still got, like I said, I've still got more flowers to work on this plaque. So, I'm pretty upset with something my mother got me for my birthday, and it's not her fault. It's the person that she, or the company that she bought the stuff from. I had wanted some, you know, like steampunk stuff, some gears and cogs and stuff like that, and we were looking on Fire Mountain Gems, their website, and they had this listing for you'll have to bear with me, it's hard for me to think and do something at the same time. They had this listing for a lot of it was called watch components, a mixed lot of watch components. And the pictures that they showed on their listing at Fire Mountain Gems, you know, it looked like big gears, you know, all the steampunky stuff that people have been using. That's what it looked like. It looked like the pieces were out of like a, you know, big pocket watches. And I was gonna order some for myself from this website called, or this company called Oriental Trading. I think they just called it gears, but because my mother was ordering something else for me from Fire Mountain Gems, we just decided to get the steampunky, aka watch components from Fire Mountain Gems. So the picture showed gears and cogs, you know, stuff like that. Very steampunky stuff. I was very happy with what the picture showed. And I understand that when they say assortment, you're not going to get every single thing or as much as something as the picture may show. I understand that, and I was fine with that. But in my opinion, when you show a picture of what someone's buying, even if you say mixed assortment, it better at least be 90% of what it shows on your picture. You know, I don't care if there's some variable items, you know, where you don't get as much of one thing or one type of thing that the picture shows. But when you show a picture of the lot of things, of the general idea of what you'll get, that's what I feel what the buyer should get, you know. As to what the picture they saw. They should get the majority of what they saw in the picture, if you are following me. So it took a couple weeks for the package to get here, and we got it tonight. And when she pulled that container out of the box, I was my jaw just dropped because I couldn't believe what I was looking at. And it was, and I thought it was kind of fishy, the weight that it said on the watch components, you know, because it said there was an ounce, and they were charging $9 from it, which was a little bit more expensive than Oriental Trading. But if we went with Oriental Trading, then we would have had to pay shipping and handling with them, and I didn't have to pay that with Fire Mountain Gems because we were getting a few other things. But when she handed me the container, I was absolutely mortified in the sense, because the container was filled with junk. And I'm going to try and keep my language PG-13 or PG, you know. But let me show you what I'm talking about. So this is a container, and the container is out in the living room, so I can't go get it. But this is a container of watches that I've taken apart myself that I got for free from the antique store. And I'm just going to pull out the majority of what was in that $9 ounce of junk. So the container was pretty much filled with, I don't know if it's going to focus for you, with this stuff. Primarily with this little scrap metal here. The container was filled with that. And I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this because the parts are extremely tiny. That's not what the picture showed at all. The picture showed watch faces and it showed gears. And they had a watch, like a watch head like this one, tossed in there that hadn't been dismantled yet, but the watch face was gone. You know, it's like this top layer was taken off. And if somebody's, oops, sorry about that. If somebody's ever taken a watch head apart, you know that half of the working components in the watch head are made out of plastic. You don't get very many metal components out of a watch head. So, yeah, it was, the 1 ounce container was 98% filled with metal crap. And it cost $9, and I was so upset about it. So, then my mother had ordered me something else. And, it was called a charm assortment. And it cost $25. And I didn't realize it cost that much when I said I liked it. But she ordered it, and it cost her $25. And when I had looked at the picture and I said I liked it, it was filled with all kinds of charms like shoes and, you know, just a whole smorgasbord of miscellaneous cute shabby chic charms, you know. I thought I was scoring. And it had a bunch of filigree in the picture too. So, I'm like, please let this be better. Because I was so upset about those watch components. I'm still angry. I'm still fuming. Almost makes me want to cry, you know. I'm like, please let this be better. And in the description and in the picture, it said assortment charms. That's what it showed in the picture. It showed charms and it showed filigree. So I opened up the big bag of stuff, and 95% of what is in the bag is rondelles and metal spacers and clasps. I can never say this word. Clasps, C-L-A-S-P, and like you know, toggles. Stuff that you would use for jewelry making. I suppose you could use some of the stuff like the rondelles for stick pens, which isn't something I ever rarely make. So I really wouldn't have a use for it. So then I was mortified again, because I don't have a use for rondelles. I don't have a use for metal metal clasps and toggles, you know. And boy, I was just, it was basically, it was horrible. I mean, I try not to complain about things, because one thing that annoys me the most about a lot of people is that they complain, you know. And I feel like I was pretty much deceived as to what I was told I was buying, as to what I was actually buying. You know, I would have never said I want those things, because I don't make jewelry. I don't like to make jewelry. I've tried to make jewelry, but in combination of my severe dislike to make it and the fact that I do not have any natural creative talent whatsoever, I would have had no use for 98% of what was in that bag. And I take some comfort that my mom can use it because she makes jewelry and that's all she does is she makes jewelry. But then I think about how all those findings, all those rondelles, all those clasps and toggles, you know, how it's not really high quality metal. Like, it's not gold plated, it's not sterling silver, you know. So I'm angry. I think I found and mind you, the assortment was called Charm Assortment. I found 2 charms in it. 2. And there were 2 little acorns. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say. Besides, I won't ever order from them again. And then they can hide behind that very word. They can hide behind assortment because the buyer knows that they're not going to get exactly what's in the picture. So they can hide behind that word. And even if I did complain to the company, and even if they did say, okay, send it back and we'll refund what you paid for, you know, I'm not going to get shipping refunded. So I tried my best not to show my severe disappointment, but I'm pretty angry over the whole thing. I feel very much that I was deceived by that company. You know, and I really don't get a whole lot of things like that for myself ever. You know, granted it was a birthday present, but that's something I would very rarely, if ever, get for myself. Because I've never felt it was worth my, you know, my penny. I value every penny I make. I value every penny I have, that my mother makes, that my mother has. And, I feel so deceived. Made me want to throw up, you know? And then I have to chalk it up to a live and learn experience, because that's all I can do. I can't get my money back. I can't get her money back. But being disappointed over what I got is an understatement. Because I'm angry. And that's why I don't buy a whole lot of things online, because I'm always afraid that I'm not going to receive what I think I'm buying. I don't know. It just makes my birthday kind of sour. I mean, at least I'll be able to go to the antique store the day after my birthday, which will, in a sense, be my birthday celebration, and you know, that won't cost me a thing. I will definitely not be buying from Fire Mountain Gems ever again. And my mother's bought an assortments from there. My mother has. And I thought they were great assortments. Like, And this is, I wanted a filigree assortment, but they were out of stock, which is why I chose the charm assortment. This was something my mother had bought a long time ago. She had bought 2 assortments. And it's all this beautiful filigree. You know. Now my mother just gave me this because she doesn't use it. Now I use it all the time. So this is what I originally wanted before I chose the charm assortment. And I'm like, well, I could still do a lot of cool things with a buttload of charms, but obviously no, I can't do a lot of cool things with the buttload of charms because I only got 2 charms out of a $25 assortment. So that's my little rant, I guess you could call it. Like I said, I was really trying hard not to be a sourpuss in front of my mother, because I know I can be that way. I'm pretty critical over a lot of things, especially when it comes to hard-earned money being spent on something more extravagant than I would normally want, you know, or feel the need to get. But it was pretty hard to hide my sheer disappointment, because I really do feel like they deceived me. And I went back on that website and I looked at those pictures again, and those pictures did not show hardly anything of what I received in the watch components or the charm assortment. Like I said, there was really no charms in that assortment but 2 little acorns. A $25 assortment and I get 2 acorns. So, I'm pretty angry. But I don't know. At least with my extra cash I got in the paycheck, I'm gonna go back to that antique store, the really cheap one that I like going to. And now that I've got a little bit more money, I'm gonna go just buy the rest of the lace she has. A birthday present to myself. Well, thanks for watching. There's a little flower.